the mighty peaks of sacred treasures, the protecting deity of Sikkim, witness to the treaty between the Bhutias and the Lepchas, the two original communities. Guru Padmasambhava said that these mountain peaks would contain mystical treasures for the benefit of all sentient beings. The mighty river Tista, the chaste lady from the mountains, emanating and deriving its name from Tashi Dar, the sacred rock, at about 20,000 feet height in the Himalayas, from the Zemu glacier. It is believed that Tista, the chaste woman, and Ring Ye, or what is usually called the Rangit River, the man, was separated in heaven and came looking for each other to Sikkim. They travelled all the way till they were united at this point in Melli. These prayer wheels have the Maha Mantra, Om Mane Pema Hum Re, written on them. When they turn, they are meant to usher in benevolence for all 6 realms, not just the individual. This is the essence of Mahayana Buddhism, practiced here in this unspoilt paradise. The Rumtek monastery of the Kagyupa sect is one of the 2 sects of Vajrayana Buddhism in Sikkim. The majestic monastery was built by the most revered, His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, a lineage of Buddhism that relates directly to Atish Dipankar and to Bengal's past Buddhist links. The frescoes narrate the entire lineage of the Kagyu sect, starting with the saints Tilopa and Naropa. The master translator Marpa, the gentle saint Milarepa, and others. The wall paintings at the gate of the shrine show the protecting deities of the 4 cardinal directions. Enche Monastery still carries forward the ordination of the Chogyals, the Dharma Rajas. The erstwhile kings of Sikkim ordained that the second son of every Bhutia Lepcha family would be sent to the monastery to be trained as lamas. This was the Buddhist king's prescription for ensuring peace in the land blessed by the Guru. From the age of 4, these little souls, all from respectable families, come here at the Sheda, or monastic school. They undergo a hard life of learning the basics of the 5 main scriptures of the Nyingma sect, or the original school of Vajrayana Buddhism, under the tutelage of senior lamas. Pema Yangtze, which means the top of the lotus, is the cardinal monastery of Sikkim. On its four sides, far removed from each other, were set up four other principal monasteries of Sikkim, including the Dorje Lingpa monastery, from which comes the name Darjeeling, and the Pema Lingpa monastery, the origin of the name of the fabled tourist destination, Peling. Today is the Pang Lhabsol festival at the Pema Yangtze monastery in Peling. During Pang Lhabsol, the Sikkimese remind Kangchen Dzongkha of its promise made to Guru Padmasambhava, the 8th century Indian saint and the originator of Vajrayana, to protect Sikkim forever. In all Sikkimese Buddhist ceremonies, the prayers and the rituals are conducted first inside the monastery. These pujas are related to the destruction of evil and to usher in the pure, to end the old and to welcome the new, to vanquish evil and to turn these forces themselves into protectors of the faith. This is one aspect of the teachings of Guru Padmasambhava, also called the Ugyen Lama, the saint self-born in a celestial lotus. Among his later devotees is included Guru Nanak. The object in these prayers are called tormas. Here we see the tormas of Guru Rinpoche, of Lachen Mendarawa, the Yidam, and also those of the Dharmapalas and the Bhumipalas, the protectors of the land and the faith. Prayers go on inside with readings from the Pang Lhabsol Pecha, or scripture for Pang Lhabsol, devotees and the curious. Many of them from foreign climes gather for the great dance to begin. Meanwhile, The dancers dress up. The dance outside will symbolically depict what the prayers inside meant. The easily comprehensible dance takes the form of explanation for the lay people. Of all the Lama dances of Sikkim, Pang Lhabsol Cham is the only one in which ordinary Sikkimese Buddhist youths take part, not necessarily lamas. Devotees witness the prayers inside, sprinkling rice, lighting the sang or incense to purify the air. While Yapo Sonam Yongda, the most learned scholar, offers khada, the sacred scarf to the Torma. After it was revealed to him in his dream, the third Chogyal or Dharmaraja, the enormously learned Chagdor Namgyal, described each step. These are the warriors of the faith, as one government document says. However, Yapo Sonam Yongda explains that these are the Pangtoepas, or the witnesses to the treaty between the Bhutias and the Lepchas, and protected by Khangchen Zonga. The headgear has the darcham or banners, which is typical of the Pang Lhabsol Cham. After the first round of dance, these drummers, or Gandungpas, welcomed the Zonga, the red-faced aspect of Khangchen Zonga. who is ceremonially ushered from the main shrine. After the Zonga takes his seat, the revered Mahakala is welcomed for his performance. In Vajrayana Buddhism, Mahakala, in the black mask, is the upholder of Dharma, who is also the same as Yabdui Rongchen, the southern deity. He arrived as Sang. Incense from freshly cut juniper leaves, burnt to purify the air. And finally, in the dance sequence comes the warrior dance, starting with the sprinkling of rice powder, a mark of victory over evil. And the ending is singing paeans and shrieking hail to Kangchen Zonga. As time passes by, autumn sets in. It is the time to cut the grass, which this dainty beauty carries as a headload to feed her cattle. In the Nepali village on the way to Rumtek, about 23 kilometers from Gangtok, the Sharma family thresh the rice to settle down for winter. Past the bamboo groves, we reach the idyllic Bhutia village of San. Where the paddy has been cut and divine peace has settled in. At the Lepcha village of Ray, pretty women harvest local wheat. Even as the prayer flags with the mantra for universal benevolence sway in the winds. This house is a typical example of ancient Lepcha science and technology, standing on 8 solid pieces of log placed on roundish flat stones, which makes them earthquake-proof. Under this majestic pine, which is hundreds of years old, 3 holy lamas from Tibet had consecrated Chogyal Phuntsog Namgyal, the first Dharmaraja of Bayul Demajong. In 1600 AD, the ancient stone-carved throne was the seat where the 3 lamas, along with the Chogyal, sat together, thereby symbolizing the rule of dharma. This consecration fulfilled a condition of the treaty of blood brotherhood between the Tibetan king Khe Phumsa and the Lepcha patriarch The Kung Tek, signed here at Kavi, which means our blood. The relics of 9 stones tied with sacred scarves, representing the 2 rulers and their families, praying to Khangchen Zonga, lie at Kabi Longchok, 45 kilometers from Gangtok, in North Sikkim. And this is the Rabdense Palace, built by the 2nd King of Sikkim, the 3rd palace of the Sikkim royal family, the 5th capital of the kings, lasting till the erstwhile kingdom merged with India in 1975. The austere lifestyle and the open governance of the Dharmarajas of Sikkim is evident from the palace compound itself, 120 kilometers from Gangtok. Yuksum, Rabdense, and this lake, Shojo Sho, under the Ketchuperi monastery are all linked in the history of Sikkim. The deity of this lake fulfills wishes made in earnest. It is one of the protected sacred sites of Sikkim, among the holiest, some 134 kilometers from Gangtok, in the West District. This serenity and peace is what heaven is all about. The main festival during the winters is the Gutar Cham, which is practiced in the Kagyu monasteries of Sikkim and which people from across the state visit, traveling back-breaking roads, like this point called B2 on the North Sikkim Highway. Filming inside any monastery is forbidden, but an exception was made for our team. Inside the Phodong monastery of the Kagyu sect, a day before the Gutar Cham, while senior monks offer prayers, the rituals include clapping of hands, like in Rumtek, the wall paintings depict the ancient saints of the Kagyu lineage. After prayers, the Lamas have Shiu Chi, or community dinner, at 5 in the evening, all sitting in the compound of the Phodong Gompa, a tradition as old as Vajrayana Buddhism itself, and carefully retained here. The food is not that of poor people, rice and beef gruel. It is meant to be in accordance with the austere lives of the Lamas. Dinner over, the Lamas retire, for they must get up and start the prayers again tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the morning, preparing for the Cham. Early next day, the Gutar Cham begins with Serkiem, involving the deities of all 10 directions to come and weed out all ignorance, negative virtues and sins from the arena. as the complex array of dance swiftly moves to the Black Hat Dancer, the premier tantric dance to conquer evil. The Black Hat Dancer must be a senior Lama who meditates on his roles for days even before wearing his mantle, for his is a major role in purifying the world through this dance. The subsidiary dancers carry all the ritual objects and the prayer utensils, handing sacred goblets with water, representing nectar, and rice in their left hands, which they will sprinkle from time to time. This dance has animal heads as masks, including deer, lion, gadura, stag, snow lion, tiger, and others. The intention is clear, as Yapo Sonam Yongda explains. Once the person dies, the soul starts its final journey, but on the way, devils and evil forces come in these shapes to distract the itinerant soul and to divert it away from the right path. This dance is meant to be an annual reminder to the living that after death, these will be your detractors. Identify them now, so that there will be no fear after death. Here comes the Black Hat Dancer, ceremonially welcomed by the group of musicians. His job is to pray to this fabulously created mask of Mahakala in a slightly different form than that of the Mahakala mask of the Pang Lhabsol. The elaborate four-tiered construction has been made by the Phodong Lamas in just over 5 days from the start of the 7-day prayer ceremony. The effigy of the evil, called Ruta, is placed on the ground, while the Black Hat Dancer, using a magical black cloth and other prayer objects, invoked all negative virtues and all sins to take their seats inside the ruta, while other lamas help him to invoke the evil forces by shrill whistles. After this, the black hat dancer sits and is honored by devotees with khadas or sacred scarves and with offerings of money, while the skeleton dance continues. The skeleton dance is supposed to expose what man is without the coverings of flesh and blood, the stark realization that life is temporary and the Buddha's wisdom is permanent. Meanwhile, the ruta lies on the ground while the stag takes position. Of all the animal heads, the stag, called Shao in Sikkimese, is the most important. For after death, it is the stag that will convey the soul to Shinji Chiokli Gyalpo, the Death King, or the equivalent of Yamraja, who is the judge of the balance of a person's right and wrongdoings in this world. After a prolonged stylized dance sitting in front of the ruta, the Shah finally hacks it into pieces. And sprinkles the pieces to reach all the deities of the 10 directions. The black hat dancer throws arrows at a haystack, which is the symbolic universe of evil. The Mahakala is shorn of the decorations and himself enters the universe of evil. And bursts into flames, destroying evil in its own universe. As the sun goes down in a halo of red, peace and purity is ushered in. Chitin Tashi welcomes his family with Tashi Dalek, a generic word of greeting. The family sits down by the choksis, elaborate carved tables, with the lakhang laden with prayer objects in front of Lord Buddha, Guru Padma Sambhava, Tara Devi, and other deities. The Sikkimese lunar calendar is coming to an end. Here, at the lakhang, or the personal chapel of Chitin Tashi Bhutia's home, starts the preparation for Lusung, the Sikkimese New Year. Finally, powdered rice is put on the left shoulder of the younger members of the family. A crop of nectar, usually alcohol, is given in blessings, and the family is ready for the grand Lusung dinner. With the inevitability of nature, the time comes for the flowers to bloom, particularly the rhododendron, the largest of all flowers. Back at the Pemiyangsi monastery, it is now time for the grand Guru Thamat dance, as the devotees stream in, and a village fair adds gaiety and grips the ambience. Inside the monastery, the ceremonies of the Guru Thamar dance starts with the roll cham, followed by various dances. Then comes the massive Guru Dragmar dance, with a mask that is about 12 feet from tip to toe, weighing some 65 kilograms, worn by a single dancer, perhaps the largest and the heaviest single piece of dance costume in the world. It was designed according to the Guru Dragmar